to the entertainer talking sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the much coveted free agent, Yannick Ngakoue. Actually, I'm going to be making another video that should be up in a few hours, discussing a list that came out from PFF grading the top 100 free agents in this year's class. I just thought it would be a good outline to go over some of the names. And Yannick Ngakoue was ranked number 18 on that list and is a target not just for the Giants, but for many teams. And Ngakoue has not been shy. This guy has been all over Twitter, not just the day I made my, video on it. It's been several other. I can make a video every day on this guy for the things that this guy posts on Twitter every day in the world of social media. And a lot of it has at least been hinting that he may want to go to the New York Giants. And it is certainly hinted that he wants out of Jacksonville. Now, the owner, before I get into some of the quotes that I read today, the owner has been outspoken since the start of free agency that their number one priority is to keep Yannick Ngakoue. Now, I've read a number of things, not just from Ngakoue. Calais Campbell came out and said, obviously, a teammate of Ngakoue and one of the better defensive tackles in the sport, who makes a lot of money in his own right, came out and said that he kind of doesn't expect Ngakoue to be back based on how much he's going to look to get paid. But if the Jaguars are willing to pay Yannick what he feels is fair, maybe he will be back. And the Jaguars obviously hold the power and the ability to franchise tag Yannick Ngakoue. I know a lot of New York Giants fans want this guy, and for good reason. He's a very good player. As I said in my other video, he's very consistent, between 8 and 12 sacks every year of his career. The one thing that I worry about with him, he's not really a complete player. He's known to lack against the run. He's a great pass rusher, and he does cause a lot of fumbles. He strips the ball. He creates turnovers, things like that. And he'd certainly be a guy that New York Giants fans and fans around the league would welcome with open arms. We got to remember, even if this guy hits the open market, the Giants are not the only team that, have the opportunity to bring this guy in. The Jets have cap space. The number of teams have cap space. We rank 7th in the league in cap space. So Yannick will have the ability to choose between the team of his liking. But the Jacksonville Jaguars owner yesterday came out and basically said, we think we're going to get a deal done. Now, I've heard this in the past with owners and, general managers and owners. You can't always, take everything that they say to heart. Just look at Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman said that the New York Giants did not sign Odell Beckham to trade him, and then a couple months later, they ended up trading the guy. So the way Yannick Ngakoue is acting, he's kind of hinting that he wants out of Jacksonville, and I will go over a tweet that he said in response to what the owner said yesterday, makes me think that there's a good chance this guy's going to hit the open market. I just don't know if it will be with the New York Giants. But according to the owner, he does not feel that that will be the case. Here's what came out yesterday according to Jacksonville Jaguars website. I forgot the name of it, but it's equivalent to Giants Wire. Came out and said, Jacksonville Jaguars general manager Dave Caldwell said Yannick Ngakoue would be the team's top priority this offseason in his postseason presser. And that tone hasn't changed a few weeks later. Like I said, a couple of weeks ago, that's exactly what they said. Before all this started to happen, that their number one priority is to bring Ngakoue back. He went on to say, Caldwell spoke with Jaguars.com while attending the Senior Bowl Tuesday, and Ngakoue was one of the many topics who came up. It's a deal that we feel like could take a little bit of time, but should be done hopefully relatively easily, Caldwell said. So the Jaguars continue to speak confidently that they're going to get this deal done. And what it later goes on to say, I'm going to pull up the quote, it does not sound like they plan to franchise this guy. It's a deal they want to get done. And this is all very possible, by the way. I want everybody to take this into account, that Ngakoue could be saying the things he is saying to try to pressure the Jaguars to sign him to a long-term contract, something that he feels is suitable to him. It's all very possible. We don't know any of this until free agency comes about. But Yannick seems like he wants to shop himself at the very least. Then this is what came out per NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero in regards to what he's going to want on the open market. Now, in my video about Yannick last week, I showed you what the top guys make. DeMarcus Lawrence was near the top of the list. Khalil Mack was the top, I think at 23 per, and I think the second highest guy was 21, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people told me that there's no way he's going to get that. Well, yes, he is. That's just how it goes. That's what the top edge rushers get in today's market. And every year the market resets himself. And Yannick Ngakoue, if he does hit free agency, is going to be one of the 2 or 3 most sought-after edge rushers based on age. And this is what he turned down last year. Per NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero, the deal that Ngakoue was offered last year was one that paid out $19 million annually and would have made him the 4th highest paid defensive end. However, the guaranteed amount wasn't revealed. So maybe the guaranteed amount wasn't as high as Yannick thought, it was fair. That's possible. But this guy who was still on a rookie contract, risked injury, went out there, and like I said, a risked injury. In the NFL, if you get hurt, you don't get your money. And he proved himself, and he's going to want to cash in on that. He's going to want a ton of guaranteed money, and he's going to want $22 million a year. This guy turned down $19 million last year, would have made him the 4th highest paid defensive end annually in the sport. He went out there and he delivered this year. He had 8 or 9 sacks, whatever it was, and continued to show consistency. The guy doesn't get hurt. He's played pretty much every game since he's been in the league. He has a lot of factors, for him going in terms of consistently staying on the field, consistently putting up numbers, things like that. And he's going to demand what he wants to demand. And then finally, now you could read this tweet how you want to read it, but this came out hours after the general manager said that they expect to get a deal done. They think it, may take a little bit of time, but it should get done easily. Yannick Ngakoue wrote, "Don't believe everything you hear," which immediately got a ton of likes and retweets and all that. And, read it how you want. It's a cryptic tweet. Obviously, as Giants fans, we're used to this. Odell Beckham did this throughout his whole time here. It seems to be the new thing that athletes do in today's day and age. Read that how you want. And then earlier today, he came out and said, "I'm free." So, who knows if he's playing games with the owners of the Jacksonville Jaguars? Who knows if he's not? But it sounds like to me that he wants out of Jacksonville. But the one thing I also want to take into account, Giants fans and fans around the league, if you want to bring this guy in, who's to say that this guy's not going to do this in 2 or 3 more years? I remember O.C. Umenyiora with the Giants. He seemed to do this every 2 years or so, every 3 years or so. He would threaten to hold out to get his money. Not that this guy held out, but he's basically holding the Jaguars for ransom, trying to get as much money as he can, as he should, as a free agent. But, the way he's behaving, and maybe he'd be happy with the New York Giants. I mean, I guess he's a lifelong Lawrence Taylor fan, possibly. I don't know. But who's to say he won't do this in 2 or 3 years with the Giants? It's a question you got to ask yourself. Is Yannick worth the money he's going to get paid? And will he be a headache when we sign him? He's certainly been a headache for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But, obviously a lot of players don't like playing there. Maybe Yannick is Giants bound. We're going to have to wait and see. The Jaguars seem to think that he's going to be staying home. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.